So let's talk about vibrato. Firstly, what is vibrato? Well, vibrato is a regular fluctuation in pitch and intensity. And there are two things to consider when analysing vibrato. One is the extent of the pitch variation. So how far from the central note does the pitch go in the vibrato? If it goes far from the frequency of the note, I would call this a wide vibrato. And if it doesn't go very far, I would call this a shallow vibrato. The next thing to think about is the speed of the vibrato, whether the pitch fluctuations are fast or slow. Then how do we create vibrato? Well, in simplistic terms, vibrato is created by sets of antagonistic muscles within the larynx and the breathing apparatus that contract at the same time, causing a sort of tremor-like reaction that results in variations in pitch from the larynx and in intensity from the breathing apparatus. Why do we use vibrato? Well, vibrato is used to add expression. How it's used depends on genre, and so I would call it a stylistic effect. In opera and classical singing, it's a prominent feature, and along with that comes rules of how and where it's used within that genre. Musical theatre, you often find it's used at the end of the phrases to sweeten the note, finish the note off. Sustained notes, you'll hear it, and big power money notes where you may get a straight tone with no vibrato and then the vibrato drops in to finish it off. In Celtic folk music, you often hear these beautiful, shallow, quick vibratos that sound so pure. You hear it in rock music, you hear it in country music, but it's different in each genre. So in pop, there are no rules as such, but certain types of vibrato do come in and out of fashion. Vibrato can also become part of someone's vocal identity. Think Jess Glynn. She is recognisable because of her unique, shallow and fast vibrato. It's an integral part of her sound. In pop, it's often used in the sort of unexpected words in the middle of a line, words that are not ones you'd expect to be highlighted, rather than the more predictable end-of-line vibrato in musical theatre. Vibratos can also be subtle. You often hear those sort of loose, subtle vibratos in male indie singers, like Alex Trimble from Two Door Cinema Club. It just kind of falls off just after it's established itself. So how and when you should use vibrato depends on your genre, the genre that you are singing. Vibrato is also subjective. Some people like it, some people don't. So having a vibrato that is extreme, like a slow, wide one, and using it constantly throughout a song may limit your popularity. So I would suggest that you, one, do some deep listening and analyse how and when vibrato is used in the genre that you sing. Two, sing your songs through and notice where you naturally put your vibrato. You may need to record yourself so that you can listen back to analyse yourself. Then three, compare the two, what you're doing naturally with how it's used in your genre, and notice if these fit together. If you're doing something different and innovative, then question, does that work? It may well do, but does it work? And then another approach is to sing totally straight. So sing your song totally straight with no vibrato in practice, and then choose where you want to add vibrato for expressive and stylistic reasons. So you map out where you want to put it to maximise its impact and its presence in the song. So it's good to have control over your vibrato rather than it being a default sound on every note. So vibrato can be a wonderful stylistic if it's used well. So it just needs a little bit of thought and a little bit of choice of how you fit it into your voice within your genre.